Orion, the Milky Way. Our ancestors connected to the sky in some of the most intimate ways. The sun, moon, and stars were used to commune with the divine. They were also used for more functional purposes, such as agriculture and navigation. Today we study the stars with telescopes, the best of which are some of the most technologically advanced instruments created. And yet, with all the strides modern astronomy has made, the rich oral traditions of the constellations and myths associated with the sky remain. They tell tales of sky creatures, angry gods, paths to the afterlife, and origin stories. Many astronomers, when at the darkest of skies, report feeling a sense of the mystical nature that our ancestors held in daily life. These tales give us a glimpse into our past, and yet thousands upon thousands of such stories have inevitably been lost to time, war, and destruction. If only the rich histories of places like Stonehenge had been reliably passed down, humanity would be the better for it. Kitt Peak National Observatory is a place where the ancient and modern collide. It is one of the largest collections of research telescopes on Earth, but it's on lands belonging to the Tohono O'odham people. When negotiations for purchase of part of their land was occurring, the Tohono O'odham were generally welcoming of the idea, but one of their demands on which they would not be moved was that the federal government was not welcome to build on a particular summit of the mountain range in question. This summit, to them known as the center of the universe, is sacred to the Tohono O'odham people as being the place at which the Creator dwells and the central point for their traditional lands. Once the telescopes started to be constructed on Kitt Peak Mountain, the Tohono O'odham people named it Realm of the Long Eyes, as a tribute to the ability for the new instruments to probe the deep cosmos. Having been to Kitt Peak myself multiple times, I can attest that the ancient and modern produces a stirring of the soul unlike anything else I've experienced. One can feel both the sky and the ancient spirits beckoning. Like tales of the stars, knowledge of how our ancient ancestors interacted with the world around them gives us a glimpse into our collective consciousness, ignites the imagination, and becomes the substance of the dreamer. The Ute name for Pikes Peak is Taba, or Mountain of the Sun. Members of the Ute tribe would regularly climb Taba for various reasons, including solitude, meditation, and prayer. As someone who hikes in the mountains on a regular basis, and when not above 13,000 feet, at least a part of me wishes I were, being in the mountains achieves a number of things. One of which is connecting to nature in ways not possible in most daily life. Another is understanding the footsteps of those who went before. What ground was held sacred and why? How did they get to the summit? And what visions did they have once at the top? By losing our knowledge of the past, we erase a portion of what it is to be a part of the human collective. Imagine a world such as portrayed in the movie Equilibrium. Sterile, devoid of art, culture, and independent thought. Such a world would not value modern-day revelations that might be gleaned from knowledge of the past, studying ancient texts and artifacts, and the intellectual and cultural revolutions that might ensue with such knowledge, such as those that precipitated the Renaissance. The indigenous peoples native to Alaska, and indeed the state of Alaska itself, have both called for the name Denali to be kept. Denali means high one, a very appropriate name as it is the highest peak in not just the state, but the entire North American continent. If we rename Denali, we strip recognition of the indigenous tradition and take one more step toward the sterilization of the past. Make no mistake, this is not an indictment of whether McKinley was a great president or a great American. However, he has little to no connection to the mountain. He never visited the mountain, attempted to climb, and certainly did not summit. There must be more and better ways to continue to honor great people in our country's past that do not take important pieces of history away from the indigenous peoples whose ancestors named landmarks. Please urge your lawmakers to hear all sides of this issue. And if this video finds its way to the president-elect, I urge you to consider this decision carefully. For the more we preserve our collective past as carefully as possible, the more we understand one another, might live peaceably together, and advance as a collection of civilizations. We all share this earth. The stories of her people, past, present, and future, deserve to be guarded for the benefit of all.